My name is Adeline Gibson, and what I'm about to share with you changed everything I thought I knew about life, death, and the invisible battles being fought around us every single day. Before my experience, I was just like many of you, going about my daily life, focused on my career as a pediatric nurse, and occasionally attending church on Sundays. But on October 15th, 2023, I died for 7 minutes and 42 seconds, and what I witnessed during that time has left an indelible mark on my soul. I remember that morning clearly. The autumn air was crisp, and the sunrise painted the sky in brilliant shades of orange and pink. I was heading to work early, as I often did, driving down the familiar stretch of Highway 27 that I'd traveled countless times before. The radio was playing softly. I think it was an old hymn, Amazing Grace, though that detail seems almost too perfect now, considering what was about to happen. I never saw the truck coming. Later, I would learn that its driver had fallen asleep at the wheel, crossing the median and hitting my car head-on. But in that moment, all I remember is a flash of metal, the deafening sound of crushing steel, and then peace. The most profound, all-encompassing peace I'd ever known. The transition was instantaneous. One moment I was in my car, and the next, I was floating above the accident scene. I could see my broken body below, still strapped in the driver's seat. Emergency vehicles were arriving, their lights casting eerie red and blue shadows in the early morning light. But what caught my attention, what made me gasp in wonder, were the beings of light surrounding my car. They weren't just any beings. They were angels, but nothing like the ones you see in paintings or Christmas decorations. These beings were magnificent, radiating pure light and love in ways that our human languages can't fully capture. Their presence was both powerful and gentle, and I could see that they had been there even before the accident happened. As I watched, fascinated, one of the angels turned to me. It's difficult to describe their appearance because they seemed to shift and change, like living light taking different forms. But the overwhelming sensation was one of familiarity, as if I was meeting an old friend I'd known all my life, but had somehow forgotten about. "Welcome, Adeline," the angel said, though not with words as we know them. It was more like pure thought and emotion being transferred directly into my consciousness. "There is much for you to understand about your journey and the protection that surrounds all of God's children." Another angel, my guardian angel, as I would soon learn, approached. This being had been with me since my first breath, and I suddenly could remember their presence throughout my entire life. Every close call, every near miss, every moment when I'd felt an inexplicable urge to change my decisions. It had been them, guiding and protecting me. "Would you like to see my guardian angel?" asked, extending what I can only describe as a hand of light toward me. "Would you like to understand how we work in your world?" I nodded, or at least had the intention of nodding. It's strange how you maintain these human gestures, even when you no longer have a physical body. In that instant, we began what I can only describe as a journey through time and space, but not in any way that we typically understand these concepts. The first thing they showed me was my own life, but from their perspective. I saw myself as a toddler, about to put something dangerous in my mouth. My guardian angel had gently redirected my attention to a toy instead. I saw myself as a teenager, about to get into a car with a drunk friend. My angel had caused me to feel suddenly ill, making me decide to call my parents for a ride instead. But it wasn't just the big moments. They showed me how they worked in the small, everyday moments, too. I saw them inspiring kind thoughts in people around me when I was having a difficult day. I watched them coordinating what we might call coincidences, running into just the right person at just the right time, finding exactly what I needed when I needed it most. But this is only part of what we do, my guardian angel explained. Watch now and understand the greater battle. The scene shifted, and suddenly I could see the world as they see it, layers upon layers of reality existing simultaneously. What we perceive as our physical world was just one thin layer of an infinitely complex tapestry. And in these other layers, I saw something that both terrified and amazed me: spiritual warfare happening all around us, all the time. I watched as angels fought against dark forces, entities that sought to harm, discourage, and destroy. These battles weren't with swords or spears, but with light against darkness, truth against lies, hope against despair. I saw how angels worked tirelessly to protect not just individuals, but entire communities, nations, and even the planet itself. They showed me how they operated in hospitals. My workplace took on a whole new dimension. I saw angels standing by patients' bedsides, comforting the dying, strengthening the weak, and sometimes even participating in miraculous healings when they aligned with God's will. I watched them inspire doctors with sudden insights and guide nurses' hands during delicate procedures. Your work as a nurse, my guardian angel explained, has been a partnership with us. Many times, when you've had a gut feeling about a patient's condition, it was us communicating with you. When you felt compelled to check on a certain patient outside your regular rounds, we were the ones prompting you. They showed me specific instances, times when my random decisions had actually saved lives. I saw how angels had worked through me to comfort parents of sick children, to notice subtle symptoms that led to early diagnoses, and to be in the right place at the right time for emergency situations. But what struck me most was the sheer scale of their operation. Every human being, I learned, has at least one guardian angel assigned to them from the moment of conception. These angels never sleep, never rest, and never cease in their mission to protect and guide. They work in perfect coordination with each other, creating a vast network of protection and guidance that spans the entire globe. I was shown how angels interact with human free will. They never force decisions but present opportunities, create circumstances, and inspire thoughts that might lead to better choices. They respect our freedom to choose, even when those choices might lead to pain or difficulty. Remember, my guardian angel said, "We are servants of the Most High. Our power comes from Him, and our purpose is to help fulfill His plans for humanity. We rejoice in your victories and weep at your struggles, but we never lose sight of the greater purpose." They showed me how they often work through other people, inspiring random acts of kindness, prompting someone to call or text at just the right moment, or moving people to pray for others without knowing why. I saw how every act of kindness, every moment of inspiration, every coincidence was actually part of an intricately choreographed dance between heaven and earth. The angels showed me how they protect children with special vigilance. I saw them surrounding schools, playgrounds, and homes, their light creating barriers against darkness. They showed me how they often inspire children's imagination and creativity, and how children, being more open to the spiritual realm, sometimes can sense their presence more easily than adults. I witnessed how they work during natural disasters, not always preventing them, as these sometimes serve purposes we can't understand from our limited perspective, but always working to minimize loss of life and create opportunities for human kindness and solidarity to shine through. They showed me how they operate in moments of crisis, car accidents like mine, health emergencies, potential crimes. I saw how they often slow down time in microseconds to prevent accidents, inspire quick reflexes, or guide people away from danger. Sometimes, when prevention isn't possible, they work to minimize damage and orchestrate rapid response from emergency services. What amazed me most was seeing how they coordinate with each other. When one person's guardian angel sees a potential future danger, they communicate with other guardian angels to set up a chain of events that might prevent it. It's like a cosmic chess game, but with infinite dimensions and possibilities. They showed me how they work in dreams, often using our sleep state to process trauma, solve problems, or prepare us for future challenges. I saw them inspiring artists, musicians, and writers, breathing divine creativity into human expression. They showed me how they work through technology. Yes, even prompting people to create apps and tools that end up helping others in ways the creators never imagined. I learned that angels also work with animals, especially service animals and pets that provide emotional support to humans. They can guide animals to help people in distress, work through them to provide comfort, and even use them to warn of danger. The angels showed me how they participate in spiritual warfare, battles that happen constantly in the unseen realm. They fight against forces of darkness that seek to destroy, discourage, and deceive. These battles, while invisible to human eyes, have real impacts on our world. I saw how they defend against attacks on our minds, our relationships, and our faith. But remember, my guardian angel emphasized, our greatest weapon is love. The light of divine love is stronger than any darkness. When humans choose to love, to forgive, to show kindness, they partner with us in ways they don't even realize. They showed me how they work in churches and other places of worship, strengthening faith, inspiring hope, and facilitating genuine encounters with God. But they also showed me how they work in unexpected places, bars where someone contemplating suicide might find hope through a stranger's kindness, prisons where hearts are transformed, and streets where homeless people find unexpected help. I saw how angels work with time differently than we do. They can see potential futures and work to guide us toward the best possibilities, all while respecting our free will. They showed me how they often arrange divine appointments, those moments when we meet exactly the right person at exactly the right time. The angels showed me how they work in families, strengthening bonds, inspiring reconciliation, and protecting children. They showed me how they sometimes work through family members who have passed on to heaven, allowing them to participate in certain ways in watching over their loved ones. They showed me how they work in the moments of death, not just for those who die peacefully in bed, but in accidents, in war zones, in hospitals. They ensure that no one dies alone, even if human loved ones can't be present. They guide souls, comfort the dying, and often allow people glimpses of loved ones who have passed on before them. I learned that angels celebrate our victories, not just the big ones, but every small choice for good, every moment of growth, every act of kindness. They rejoice when we overcome temptation, choose forgiveness, or step out in faith. As my experience continued, they showed me how they work with other heavenly beings, those who have passed on before us and now participate in God's work in different ways. I saw how all of heaven is actively engaged in helping Earth, always under God's perfect direction and always respecting human free will. They showed me how they protect and guide world leaders, working to inspire decisions that will benefit humanity, though always respecting free will. I saw them in government buildings, in peace negotiations, in humanitarian missions, always working for good, even in the most challenging circumstances. I witnessed how they interact with time itself, how they can see our past, present, and potential futures simultaneously. They showed me how they work to heal generational trauma and break negative patterns in families and communities. The angels showed me how they work in moments of scientific discovery, artistic creation, and technological innovation, inspiring humans to develop solutions that help others and advance civilization in positive ways. I saw them in laboratories, art studios, and tech startups, subtly guiding human creativity toward beneficial discoveries. They showed me how they work in the digital age, even through social media and technology, inspiring people to share messages of hope and connect with others who need encouragement. They showed me how they sometimes work through random online encounters to create meaningful connections and provide help to those in need. As my experience drew to a close, my guardian angel had one final message for me. Adeline, you're going back. Your work isn't finished, but remember what you've seen. share it with others. Help them understand that they are never alone, never abandoned, never without hope. I felt myself being drawn back to my body, but before I returned, I was given one last gift, a glimpse of God's infinite love for humanity. It was overwhelming, all-encompassing, and more real than anything I've ever experienced. I understood then that angels are expressions of this love, working tirelessly to help us, guide us, and bring us closer to our divine purpose. The return to my body was jarring. I gasped awake in the hospital, surrounded by medical equipment and concerned faces. I had been clinically dead for 7 minutes and 42 seconds. The doctors called my recovery miraculous, and now I understood why. Since that day, I've never seen the world the same way. I noticed the subtle signs of angelic intervention everywhere, in the timing of events, in random encounters, in unexplained protections. I've learned to pay attention to those gentle nudges, those gut feelings, those moments of inexplicable peace or warning. I share this story not to focus on the experience of death, but to help others understand the incredible love and protection that surrounds us every moment of every day. Angels are real, they are active, and they are working tirelessly on our behalf. They want us to know that we are never alone, that heaven is closer than we think, and that God's love for us is more real and active than we could ever imagine. My experience has taught me that life is more miraculous, more protected, and more purposeful than most of us realize. Every day, armies of angels are fighting for us, guiding us, protecting us, not just from physical harm, but helping us fulfill our divine purpose. They want us to know that every life has meaning, every person is precious, and no one is ever truly alone. I've returned to my work as a nurse with new eyes. Now I understand that I'm not just treating physical bodies. I'm participating in a greater work, partnering with angels to bring healing and hope to others. I pay more attention to those subtle promptings, those unexplained urges to check on certain patients or say specific words of encouragement. The angels wanted me to share this message with you. You are loved more than you can imagine. You are protected more than you know. And you are never, ever alone. There are angels watching over you right now, working to guide you toward your best possible future, while always respecting your free will to choose. They want you to know that prayer is powerful. They respond to it, work with it, and use it to help us in ways we may never understand in this life. They want you to know that every act of kindness, every choice for good, every moment of faith matters more than you realize. So the next time you feel an unexplained urge to call someone, or take a different route, or wait just a moment longer, pay attention. The next time you experience an inexplicable coincidence or unexpected help in a moment of need, remember, these are often the fingerprints of angels at work in your life. My near-death experience showed me that we are surrounded by more love, more protection, and more purpose than we can imagine. And while we may not always see our guardian angels, they see us. They love us. And they are always, always working for our good.